All right, welcome everyone. My name is Eric, and welcome to tonight's info session from Neotech Academy. We're talking about a lot of things tonight. We're going to talk about our boot camp, which really is a life-changing boot camp, and I think you'll see why we say it's life-changing in just a little bit. But beyond all of that, what we're going to be talking about really is freedom. I was asking the folks, before we got started, to describe your ideal job. And right away people are saying, I want to get paid more money. I want flexibility. And really what it boils down to is freedom, being able to do the things that you really want to do. If you've got children, I have four kids, and you wind up missing a school function. Maybe you're not spending the kind of time that you want with your kids. You want to have more flexibility while also getting paid what you're worth in a high paying environment. Then you're in the right place, because the IT industry, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight, really does provide potentially all of those things. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to accomplish tonight. We're going to talk about a little bit about the IT industry itself, why you might be looking to make a transition into this career. We're going to be talking about Neotech Academy, who we are, what it is that we do. We also have a couple of our alumni with us tonight. Elif and Emra will be here, and you'll be able to interact with them. They'll tell you their story, and you'll be able to ask them some questions, because they were just like you. They were in one of these informational sessions, and they were wondering, well, who are these guys? Can they really help me? And so the same questions that you're having tonight, they had the same ones, maybe the same reservations that you had, that you're having right now. They had the same thing, but they checked us out and they said, hey, I want to take that next step. And now their lives have been changed, and you'll be able to hear from them a little bit later. So you'll notice on the screen there, guys, it says February 16, 2025. That is the date of our next boot camp, and that is right around the corner, isn't it? Because here we are Thursday, and that's coming up. Look over here at my calendar. That is Sunday. So this is it. So no more procrastination. If you want to get ready, if you want to actually change your life, do something about it, and you'll get paid what you're worth and get the things that you really deserve, you're in the right place. And we do have a special offer for you tonight. I'll tell you how that works a little bit later. We have a money back guarantee in writing on our boot camp. We have a way to get involved in the boot camp where pretty much anybody can get involved with this. And I think you'll understand why I say that in just a few minutes as I go through the tuition, and all that good stuff. So we'll get to the tuition a little bit later, but we have to do first things first here. All right. So why don't we go ahead and dive into this? So some of the fastest growing occupations are in the IT industry. And for the next generation, if you think about this, everything is going to be tech related. As a matter of fact, it seems like everything already is tech related. I'm sure a lot of you would probably agree with that. There are jobs in the IT industry in all major cities. Now, don't do this now, but later on, when we're actually finished, pull up Indeed.com or whatever job board you normally go and see for yourself, the opportunities that are available in these sectors that we're going to be talking about tonight, in the fields that we're going to be talking about tonight, in your area. And you'll notice that a lot of them are rather high-paying jobs. Now, the beauty of what we're going to be talking about tonight is, I will say this a few times. You'll hear the other guys say this as well. Two of our founders will be here in just a little bit, and we'll have our interviews, with our alumni. It doesn't matter what your age is. So don't worry if you're 40 or 50 years old and you're thinking about making a career change. That's okay. It doesn't matter what your background is. Don't worry if you're like, you know what, man, I don't have an IT background. That's okay. You might say, well, currently I'm driving Uber, or I'm parking cars, or I'm a bartender, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a nurse, whatever the case. It doesn't matter what your background is. Employers just want to know, can you do the job, which we're going to teach you to do. So this boot camp, and I'll tell you more details about the boot camp in just a little bit, is designed to take what would normally take people, really years, and shrink it down to a matter of 6 months, and give you the knowledge and the expertise that you need to get your foot in the door with that first job. And oh, by the way, guys, we actually help you land that first job in the IT industry. So we don't leave any stone unturned. We're doing everything we can to not only educate you and train you, but also get your career going, which we'll talk about how that works in just a little bit. So as I was saying, jobs are available in the IT industry in really all major cities. A lot of remote opportunities are available as well. I always like to point this out that the pandemic, which is hard to believe now, it's been 5 years since that started, right? So if you remember back when the pandemic started, there really, I think we learned a couple of things from the pandemic, and maybe some of you will agree with this. That first and foremost, we learned that tomorrow is not a guarantee. How many of you would agree with that, by the way? That tomorrow is not a guarantee, unfortunately, right? And I think secondly, what we learned is that we've got to have a plan B. We've got to, we can't always rely on, the government or, this company or that company. And we really have to have a skill set that can, make us money potentially, no matter what the economy is doing. So God forbid there's another pandemic and things get shut down again. Again, God forbid, that ever happened. Well, in the IT industry, when it did happen before, there were already so many remote opportunities available. COVID only increased those opportunities. And a lot of you guys who are logged in said that one of the big things that you are looking for is that, that work-life balance, having remote opportunities. So remote is not guaranteed, but I will say this, there are more remote jobs available in the IT industry today than there ever have been. And that's really great news. So COVID only increased the opportunities while the rest of the world was being shut down. IT industry was actually thriving during that time. Well, let's talk about software testing. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because a lot of people, when they first get involved in the IT industry, when they first get their foot in the door, this is where they usually gravitate to. And you'll notice that for something that is almost, I hate to say entry level, but for something that is somewhat entry level, notice the starting salary potential here. High paying job opportunities, 90 plus $1,000. It's a great way to start your career in IT. Now, what is a software tester? It's one of the things that we train you on. It's not the only thing we train you on. There are other things as well, but it for a lot of people, it starts with software testing. So let's go through, what exactly it is. Well, if you've ever used an application, which I know all of you have, everyone here has used, I'm sure, on your phone, you've used Amazon or Uber or Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case may be. Well, here's what you bring to the table. You have used technology. You know what good technology is, what a good app is. You use it and it works. So again, that's what you bring to the table. What we're going to do is give you some technical expertise added to what you now know, what you already know, and together you'll be able to do software testing. Now, what is the role of a software tester? Why is this so important? Well, think about it like this. Let's say before, I don't know, let's say before Uber ever went public, before it ever became, an app on people's phones. Well, the company did not want to introduce this app to the public without it going through some thorough testing beforehand. That makes sense, doesn't it? Because they wouldn't want to introduce this app and it not work. Like every time people try to use it, it crashes. Or maybe they wanted to make sure that before it gets introduced, that the color scheme was done correctly by the software developers, that the fonts were correct. All kinds of stuff that they want to make sure on a checklist that are actually done properly. So that's where you come in as a software tester. Your role is vitally important, and a lot of these jobs are remote. Your job is to find out that everything works properly and everything was done the way that the company wanted to be done before it goes public. Now, you might ask, well, how will I even know, what to look for? Well, you'll be given a list of what are called requirements. Again, it's kind of like a checklist. You'll simply go through the checklist and you'll be able to determine, okay, this was done correctly, this was done correctly. Oh, here's a bug, here's a defect. They're called bugs, they're called defects. You simply let the developer know, they'll take care of it. That's the good news. The good news is you don't have to fix it, but it's your job to find the problem. So that's what software testing really is all about. And it's one of the things that we train you in to kind of get your foot in the door in the IT industry. Notice the high paying job opportunities. A lot of them are in that 90 plus $1,000 range all across the country. So just, I'm going to pause for a second, just from a big picture point of view. I know it's a very overused phrase, but from a 30,000 foot view, does that make a little bit of sense, guys, as far as what a software tester does? You're testing out the product before it goes public to make sure there are no bugs. Does that make sense? If you just give me some acknowledgement in the chat there, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's not too complicated as far as the purpose of it, but we have to train you how to do it though, and that's what we'll be able to do during the boot camp, the 6 month boot camp. That's one of the things you'll be learning. So what we did was we created a boot camp that teaches people from scratch on how to become competent in and have a career in IT. And as I said earlier, a lot of many successful software testers are not actually college graduates. That's a big thing. So don't worry if you're like, you know what, maybe you have a degree in something else, it's not in IT, that's okay. You might say, well, I don't have a degree at all. That's okay too, because once again, the companies just want to know, can you do the job? Now, at this point, you don't have the experience. So you're probably thinking, well, how will I get the experience? Again, that's the purpose of the boot camp. We actually give you projects, real projects to work on during the 6 month boot camp. So now when you're out there looking for a job, which again, we're going to help you in that job placement search, we're going to help you put together your CV, put together your resume, in other words. On that resume, you'll be able to list projects you've worked on during the boot camp, and that's your experience. So think about where you are now and think about where you could be, 6 months from now, having the experience that you don't have at this point. So you'll be acquiring significant technical knowledge in programming, coding languages, and tools. But please note that yes, we are a career-focused boot camp. So we encourage everyone, if you're not going to be serious about this, don't even think about signing up. Seriously, because we want people who are serious about making a career in IT. And this is all that we do. I always like to point this out too. All we do is IT, guys. We're not the Neotech Academy for IT and bartending school or truck driving school. No, we don't do any of that. Nothing wrong with those things. It's just that those are other companies that do that. We focus strictly on IT, getting you trained, getting you experience, and then getting your foot in the door with that first job, that high paying job, potentially, that remote opportunity, potentially, that you're looking for. So again, no experience is required. We give you the training. The training is provided via Zoom. So don't worry if you have another job as well. The classes are recorded. You can watch at your convenience. But of course, we encourage you to try to attend them as live as often as you can, and you can interact with your instructors as well. So we do everything we can to get you through the program as successfully as possible. Now, notice this course report, which is very big in our industry. Course report rated our boot camp the best quality assurance QA testing boot camp in 2023, the best QA testing boot camp in 2024. Career Karma, best software testing boot camp for 2024. We're very proud of those accomplishments. So again, starting February 16, make note of that. You got to write that down, guys. It's coming up here in just a few days. The 6 month accelerated course begins. You get hands-on experience on real projects. Don't worry if you don't have any type of IT background. Also, don't worry if English is not your first language. Yes, certainly. As our founders will tell you, you'll hear from them in just a few minutes. They'll say, yes, you should be able to communicate, in English. But don't worry if English is your second language. I'm sure whatever language, you were raised in, you speak that so much better than I do. So, as long as you can communicate in English, you're fine. Don't worry if your English is not perfect. That's okay. So it begins here with the boot camp, and then that leads into a career in software development, engineer, and test. That's more obviously automation. Software tester is more manual, and you have quality assurance engineer, plus other career paths that you might be looking to pursue, which you'll be exposed to during your training, such as software developer, such as ETL tester, Scrum Master. Now, as you take a look at some of these names here, you might ask yourself, you might be thinking to yourself, I have no idea what that means. What is a Scrum Master? What's an ETL tester? What is an API tester? You will learn all of these things. You're going to learn languages that you aren't really familiar with right now. But think about it like this. It's just like anything you learn in life. Anytime you learn something new, it seems foreign to you at first, but then once you do it for a while, it becomes second nature. The analogy I always like to use is, in high school, you may have taken some really advanced math, you may have taken calculus. I took that, my kids took that. They had a much easier time than I did. But let's say that your first semester of calculus, you're kind of struggling with it, and you're like, man, this is really tough. And then you get to the second semester. Well, the things that you thought were tough in the first semester, you probably don't think, they're very tough at this point because you've already, you feel like you kind of mastered that. It was tough at first, but then it got a lot easier for you the more that you did it. So when you see terms like this, and you'll hear some terms tonight that might seem a little foreign to you, that's okay. It's supposed to be foreign to you at first, just like anything that's new, but just like anything else, once you do it for a while, you'll be fine. All right. So again, here's what's going to happen, guys. I'm going to bring on one of our founders. His name is Elian, and Elian is going to tell you a little bit about himself, as well as a little bit more about Neotech Academy, how they got started. He also has two alumni. I mean, we are blessed to have two alumni with us tonight, and you'll be able to hear their story and interact with them and ask them some questions as well. So, Elian, you want to go ahead and take it away, my friend?
Yes, thank you, Eric, for the introduction. So let me start sharing my screen. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna go over the course, what we're teaching, and then the schedule, and also I'm gonna invite the alumni and ask them the questions. Just to answer your question, one it is yes, there is another start date, but it will be around August or September this year. Okay. So my name is Elion Limanai, and I've been 20 years software developer right now. So together with our friends, we decided to create a bootcamp for people who want to start a career in IT. And one of the easiest way to start a career in IT is starting from software testing. So when we talk about IT is a very broad terminology. So there are a lot of different domains there that you can be a software developer, you can be a software tester, you can be a database architect, you can be a cybersecurity analyst or engineer, you can be a network engineer. So there are a lot of different fields in IT, and of course, software testing is one of the easiest way to start a career in IT. After you start working as software tester, after you work for about a couple of years, then of course definitely you can switch to other places in IT, and you can learn new stuff. It will be easier for you. But we teach in our bootcamp in a way that you're gonna learn only those things that are necessary for you. So if you go to a college, of course, it's good to have a college degree, but if you go to a college, you'll see that you're gonna learn a lot of stuff. So you're gonna pay a lot of money, and you're gonna spend 40 years, and sometimes also the master's degree. And then when you're done with your degrees, then probably at the end you're not able to find a job. But the bootcamp has been programmed in a way that you learn those things that are necessary for you to do this specific career. So in our bootcamp, so what is the flow of our course? So we teach about manual testing. So what is manual testing? How it is done? How it is documented? If you find a problem in the software, what do you do? So I'm gonna give you an example every time that we do this info sessions. I give different examples. So this time I can give an example with let's say TikTok, right? The one that might be banned soon. So every application, guys, right? A company creates an application, the developers create an application, and that application is updated every time, is maintained by the developers. Like new things will be added to the software, and then everything needs to work fine. So the job of the software developer is to create this software and to make sure that everything is being created as requested. But sometimes when you click somewhere, maybe the software might crash. So the job of the software testers is to make sure that everything works fine. So let us suppose, right, we talk the example of TikTok today, right? So on TikTok, what do? You are logging in there. You are probably sharing videos. You are probably liking somebody else's videos or whatever you do there, right? Different things. And all these things, you want to make sure, for example, you share something and you want all your friends to see it. Or maybe you are blocking somebody from accessing your videos or stuff like that. So you want to make sure that everything works fine. So the software tester, they are trying to see if those things are worked as expected. And if something goes wrong while testing the software, then they need to report to the team. So they prepare a document and they say, you know what, I was testing logging in, but it worked fine. And then sharing something, posting something on TikTok, and then I wanted somebody to not be able to see it. So I just wanted to restrict it from a friend of mine, but he was able to see it. So this is a bug. Then the job of the tester is not to fix the bug. The job of the tester is only to report the bug. And then the developers, they will fix the bug. They will make sure that everything works fine. So just before the new update, the testers, they need to make sure that do their job. And if they catch the bug, of course, they're heroes because they're making sure that everything is like, if there is something wrong, it's not going to the users. And then if they don't catch the problems, then of course, right, they will be they will have to work and to make sure that everything works fine. So everything can be done, guys, manually by using your keyboard and mouse and or keypad, whatever you're using. And that is called being a manual tester, right? Doing this test manually. And you can work as a manual tester, but of course, the salaries are low and there are not too many job openings right now because most of the companies, like all of them, I can say, they start to do automation. They want to do these things automatically. So every time that there is an update, you need to test the previous modules, and you also need to test the new modules that the software is being created. So if you do these things manually, you're going to spend time every time, right? But we want to make sure that our students, they learn the automation. It's called automation testing. So we teach coding. We give the basics of a programming language. It's called Java. And of course, like there are a lot of programming languages, but Java is one of the commonly used and very strong programming language. And if you go to a company that might be using a different programming language, it doesn't matter, still they'll hire you, because as long as you know Java, which is one of the strongest programming languages, you can learn the others very quickly. So this is the foundation of the bootcamp. Let's say the first 3 months we teach Java, and that is like the base. And after that, we teach about automation testing tools. So we teach about Selenium, teach about TestNG, Cucumber. Those are tools that allow you to communicate with the browser. So you open the browser, you do those things. You let's say log into TikTok, and then you are posting something, you are liking something, you're, I don't know, commenting something, and all these things, right, are being tested, are being done in the browser. And you can run a lot of tests, and you can make sure that if some of them passed or failed, and then you can report, you can take screenshot if something goes wrong, and you can put them in the report. And all those things are done with a Java programming language and those testing tools. After this part, guys, you can work as front-end tester. Front-end is the part that of the software that the user see, right? So whatever the user sees, that's called the front end, the front part of the software, of the application. And you, by knowing these tools, you can work as front end tester. But of course, all this information, right, the posting that you're doing, the comments that you're doing, the liking that you're doing, whatever you're doing there, all these things are stored somewhere, which is called database. So, and then the front end and the database, they communicate through the APIs. And you want this part that the user don't see, you want to learn also what is API, what is database, how to test API, how to test database. And after you learn this part, guys, you are also considered as backend tester. So you know front-end tester, backend tester, and if you know both of them, you are considered also a full stack tester. So by knowing these things, you're exposed to more and more job openings, and also, right, the salaries. If you know more tools, the salaries will be higher when you apply in the job. So these are the technical part of the bootcamp, right? So you're teaching these tools and these techniques and methods and strategies and everything. But of course, we also teach non-technical part, which is what are the meetings that are done in this industry? What are the terminology that are used? How do you communicate with other team members? How do you collaborate with them? So, and then also, right, when you apply for jobs, you need to know, right, how to prepare your resume. where to apply, right? What is the job market, where to apply, what type of job titles you need to apply and everything. So these classes are taught in something that we call is soft skill classes. So during our boot camp, we have our coding classes. Also, we have our soft skill classes. And at the end, right towards the end of the boot camp, we prepare more and more. We prepare you about, let's say, how to create the resume and then how to apply for the job. And we prepare you for the interview, right? We prepare you for the interview. Even after you're done with this part, guys, so you are released to the market, you're ready to go there and you start applying for the jobs. Even when you're applying for the jobs, we have our job placement team. Our job placement team will help you right with those information that are needed, where to apply, when to apply, how to apply, and all these things, right? And of course, even when you're applying and you got offers, sometimes the recruiters might request some information from you. Are you supposed to share those information with them? They might need your let's say green card number, right? Whatever, or your passport, right? Your information that you might need to share with them or not. So also with this part, right, we have our job placement team, which will help you and will direct you to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And if you get, sometimes some of our students, they get multiple offers, right? So which one is better from them, and how to make sure that if you have a high offer and a lower one, how you can make them to make sure that you can compete them with each other and make the maximize the compensation from this like jobs that you're applying. So these are the tools, guys, I just mentioned, right? I'm going to go over them. And of course, there are a lot of tools here. I don't want you to be scared, but we have done this thing, this bootcamp like 8 times right now. This will be our 9th batch. And we have taught this one for like 5 years right now. So like more and more, we're having a lot of alumni, a lot of students which have learned these things and they were able to apply for the jobs and they were able to find jobs. So Java is the programming language. I talked about Selenium, which allows you to communicate with the browser. Then we have TestNG and Cucumber, which are the testing, automation testing tools. We have Postman and Rest Assured, which are the APIs, the communication between the front end and the back end. We have MySQL, which is the database, right? And then how to test database. You have Jira software, which is a tool that is used in the IT industry. A lot of different software developers, network engineers, all of them in IT industry are using software, Jira software to make sure that you're working on specific tasks. So every week they do a meeting, they assign the task to each team member, and then at the end of the week they check if everything was done, what is missing, what needs to be done, and then this is done by Jira software. And then we have Maven, which is another tool. We have GitHub, we have Jenkins. So these are the tools that we're going to spend weeks and weeks to teach you step by step from zero until you learn everything. So what do we offer in general, right? So we have our, I'm going to talk about schedule in a bit. So we have our classes, and then besides the classes, we give homework, and we do a couple of big projects. So we do a group project, an individual project, to make sure that you are experiencing those actual work environment, right? To have an experience about what is done really in this field. So how to communicate with other team members, right? So the experience between, right, to collaborate with other team members, and how this is done in real scenarios. And then I'm going to talk also about our mentor, like our people, our mentors, which are experienced in this field, and they were going to be meeting with you and going to talk about these tools with you. So all these tools and strategies and programming languages that we're using are the current, right, are the current trends in the market right now. But of course, as I said, even if you apply to companies that are using other tools, still you're going to be able to apply for these jobs, and you're going to be able to be hired on those jobs, because those tools are similar. You can learn other tools very easily as long as you know the concept of what is software testing. All the classes are online. As of right now, we're doing this Zoom session with you guys, and you're joining from your home or wherever you are. And also these classes are recorded and shared with you. So probably you want to rewatch it, or maybe you were not able to join the class, you have an emergency, you can watch the class later by watching the recording. Maybe sometimes you might want to watch some part multiple times. So all the class will be recorded and shared with you, and it can be accessed from anywhere in the world. The same thing with this info session, guys. So after when this info session is done, we're gonna share this video recorded. We're gonna share it with you through a YouTube link or something, and you're gonna be able to rewatch it and maybe share with a friend which might be interested, and probably join together. So we also are proud of our mentorship program. So we have our mentors, as I mentioned earlier, our alumni, which have been working in this field for 5-6 years right now. They were in your shoes probably 5-6 years ago, or maybe 7 years ago, but they learned these tools. They went to the market, they were able to find a job, and now they're working in different companies. Some of them are team leads, some of them are working in multiple jobs, and then also they're helping us with our students. So they will meet with their group every week and talk about what is currently happening in the industry, and everything, that the questions that the students have about this market. So as I said, our job placement team will help you with we have the classes which will help you with job market preparation and resume building and everything. And at the end, also our job placement team will help you during the job application process. So we have a big network, a lot of alumni which are working somewhere. Sometimes there's a job openings in their field. We're gonna share those job openings with you, and of course you're gonna also learn how to apply, and you're gonna apply yourself. But sometimes there might be some specific cases, and then you can be hired in these companies that our alumni are working. And as I said, our job placement team will make sure that they'll help you during this process when you're applying for the jobs, after you find the job, and then the first let's say whenever you need all these steps that you'll need to be able to start the job. So this is our schedule, guys. So our classes, these are the mandatory schedule, which are the classes on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. All these times here, guys, are Eastern time. So if you are in a different time zone, make sure to do your own calculation. Probably if you are in Canada, probably have the same time zone. But if you are in, let's say, California, then the class will be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. during the weekdays. So it's 3 hours during the weekdays, and there's 4 hours during the weekend. So 4 hours on Saturday and 4 hours on Sunday. It will be like a total of 17 hours. All these classes, will be taught by an instructor. During the class, we have a couple of assistants which will help you with technical problems. And also outside of these classes, guys, still we have our assistant team. They will help you during the classes, and also if you have any questions outside of the classes. So these are, as I said, these are the mandatory classes. But of course, outside of this one, we give homework. We have extra office hours if any students which have troubles, have any questions, they can join those sessions, and our instructors will be having, let's say, sessions with them. So the starting date is February 16th, and the bootcamp is 6 to 7 months. So it will be ending, let's say, around, I'll explain about the exact date, like when I do the calculation, but it will be ending in September. Okay. So during this time, you're going to learn everything step by step. You're going to do the projects and everything. And at the end, let's say around September, you're going to, at the beginning of September, you're going to be able to go to the market and then start applying for the jobs. So before, we have something that I probably skipped. We have our mock interview at the end of the boot camp, guys. We interview each of our students one by one. We do these mock interviews, which are really similar to the real interviews. So one of our instructors or mentors, they interview a student. They ask questions about all these tools that we're teaching, and if they know the tools, if they're ready, we give the green light, and they can start applying for the jobs, and then go to the interviews. If they're not ready, we just give them feedback. We say, you know what, work a little bit on these topics, and then come again, and then we have another mock interview in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whenever it's be rescheduled. And then if they pass the second interview, then they go to the market. So the purpose that we put this mock interviews, guys, is we want to make sure that you're ready. Because if you're not ready and you start applying for the jobs, then you're gonna, first couple of interviews, you're gonna mess up, and it's gonna be very difficult for you, and you're gonna lose your motivation. That's why we want you to start applying for jobs only when you're ready. Okay. So now I'm gonna invite a couple of our alumni. So our success story. Let me invite them. Yes, we're gonna go over the class hours again. So as I said, the recording will be shared with you. You can have a look there, but of course we can go back to the slide again. So by the way, guys, we're gonna invite our alumni. They're gonna share their experience with you. They're gonna talk about their experience during the boot camp, after the boot camp, now that they're working as software testers. If you have any questions, guys, please use the chat section of the Zoom. They're gonna answer your question. I'm gonna direct your questions to them, and please use everyone there so that everybody can read your questions. And I'm gonna direct those questions to our alumni. So, Emra and Elif, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, Elion, how are you?
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Long time no see.
Yes, we have our Kenny Reeves here. Emra, you're here too, right? I told you 6 months ago you look like Kenny Reeves, and
I still remember that.
I still think the same. I don't know if you like it or not, but
No, I like it, of course.
okay, perfect. Elif, how are you doing?
Good, good. I feel great.
Okay,
How about you?
perfect. So yeah, thank you very much for asking. So I just want you to share your experience. So Elif has been graduated months ago. She has been working as a software tester. Emra just was able to land the job. He didn't start working yet, so he's gonna share his experience with you. And then if the students have any questions, I'm gonna direct their questions to you. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start with Elif.
So, hi everyone. In this kind of events, I get so nervous and excited, and even during my interview, it was pretty hard for me to talk, but I will try my best to explain myself. So, I am currently working as a quality analyst as a title. I joined my current company last April, and it's in entertainment sector. I started as a heavily manual tester, but during the interview, we also interview with the automation part. So hopefully in the future, I will start doing automation because I started forgetting actually, FYI. But hopefully I will remember again. But it's been great. It's been a great journey for me. I really proud of myself, even being here. Thank you for this opportunity, by the way. I'm really, really proud of myself that I didn't stop. I didn't give up and try my best when I was applying the jobs. And here I am after 1 year. And I can start with any question or I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go with the
Yeah.
question into details.
Okay.
So let's also get Emras also his experience, as I said, during the boot camp, and then when he was applying for a job, and then I'm gonna go into questions into details.
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Emra. I've started this boot camp last year in April. It was actually a little coincidental because I came up with a video on YouTube. And by that time, I was planning to open a business, which failed because of the landlord didn't let me use whatever I wanted to use there. And the next day, I signed up for the boot camp. And I think it was one of the best decisions I've made so far. Uh, I was a little bit skeptical in the beginning because I didn't have a bachelor's degree in computer science, but I think it was in vain because I've learned everything that I needed to learn in a very short amount of time. Of course, we have to like put our efforts to understand as a non-science background student. But if you are able to do that, there is like almost a guarantee that you will land a job because I've graduated in November last year, which is like what, 3 months ago now. I've applied 1,400 jobs in that time period. I got three offers, I mean, two and a half offers because the third one was they called me and said that there were lost three candidates for a lead position, and I was one of them. So the QA manager insisted on me, but I think someone with a higher title insisted on an like STED, so they went with him. And I actually landed a job in a different state. I got paid for my relocation. I literally want to show you this. Okay. So this is my house. Let me just do the blur on my camera so I can maybe show you like I'm packing and tomorrow morning I'm leaving this state to start on Tuesday. on my new job. I'm really excited. I never imagined that this day would come, but it happens. And it took me only 3 months, so I'm really happy and grateful for everyone's work, especially Elion on those Sunday classes. You literally learned whatever you couldn't during the week, so I appreciate your help, genuinely.
Yeah, thank you. So first of all, so you're off, like you have to be in office. So that is your job is
So
not
I have a
remote.
hybrid position. I will be 2 days in 3 days in office and 2 days from home. But they paid for my flight last week to see the office and the city before I start. I went there. The office is like very high-end, luxurious, big building. They have like spa and massage already for employees. So like I would want to go to the office, honestly.
That's good.
And it's really fun because they also told me that we really liked you, and if you want to be remote, we can arrange that as well. We will never let that offer go away just because you want to work remotely. So but I want to do it in person, like a little bit because I've been always with the boot camp and stuff. I was home and I worked in Uber as a driver during the boot camp. So I need to be a little bit social. So that's why I want to be in an office maybe for a while and then I'll see from there.
That's good. So like especially hybrid, it's like one of the best settings for me. So it's good if you go a couple of days in the office to meet them, ask questions, and then the other days you
Yeah.
can work flexible from home. So thank you for the nice words. But what I want to say to Elif and you and all of our alumni, I'm really proud of you because if you don't take the boot camp seriously, if you don't put a lot of work while during the boot camp, when applying for the job, and if you lose your motivation, then you're never gonna be able to find a job. So you took it seriously, and you you were able to make it till the end. So I mean a good thing about you. So that's why you should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
So yeah, Elif. So you said that uh, you were you started working last April. So after the boot camp was done, so you was batch 5 probably.
Yes, I was.
Okay. So how many months were you applying for jobs until you find the job, and of course they also want to ask about your salary.
Okay. So for me, it took 2 months. Um, but the reason it took 2 months for my excitement, even when we were doing mock interviews, I was like, just make me pass. I will do my best. I will get the job offer. But like for me to this excitement, it was just postponing my getting offer part. During the interview for this current uh, for my current place that I work. I even told them like normally my English is way better, but since I get so excited, I just can't explain myself. That's why I was like not getting the offers, but I was passing from like second interviews, third interviews, like the other panels. Like I wasn't get eliminated from the first one. I was getting eliminated from the second, third. So another part, it took me about 2 months, but I was consistently applying. I just never gave up. And for me, that was the click. I wasn't that, I was even kind of lazy during the bootcamp, to be honest. But for me, the click part was just not giving up, and I just keep constantly apply to jobs. And like for me, the best part, I try to get over this excitement. I try to get as much as interview I get, and I join everything to just to get the experience. And right now, I work remotely. When I get my first offer, I just accepted it. To be honest, I didn't even negotiate it because I like the environment. I like the people that I talk during the interview, and I just the for being in the entertainment industry, it was just great for me. Like I
maybe
just didn't
your
want to
maybe
get
your
bored.
maybe your background. What was your background before
Oh,
the?
I graduated as a physical therapist when I was back in Turkey. Uh, I didn't know any coding. I didn't know anything about the software industry. It was just first experience, and it's great so far. I get so many appreciation from my work environment. Even today, like they always congratulate and great finds, that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, generally the IT, like they're nice people, even though normally, but like whenever you go to a company, they are welcoming, right? Especially if you're a good, let's say, team player. Like if you're a person who are nice person, they are nice to you. Unless if you're mean, then of course they also are probably mean to you. But so the fun part here, Elif, we have another person here in joining the session today, and her name is Elif.
oh,
She is saying that she doesn't have a work permit, so I don't need them to answer your question. So if you don't have a work permit, Elif, you cannot work in. I mean, it's very, very difficult for you to work in United States. So I want to be upfront with you. So if you don't have a work permit, probably you can work in your home country. You can work in Turkey, but it's very difficult for the companies. It's because it's expensive for the companies to make your let's say you're to apply for H1 visa or whatever or green card. So then it's almost impossible. So, and Elif, you're still in the same company that you
yeah,
started?
I'm still with the same company. So I am currently working as a contractor, by the way. They extended it, but they hired as like 90% of direct hire possibility kind of stuff. So they have been saying that they will hire. I don't know, like this kind of, we'll see. But
And are you like contract based or are you full time employee?
contract based, but they will like they signed everything. They just changed their HR and everything. So we are just waiting for the confirmation part, and it takes so long. I don't know why.
Mhm.
So my salary is not 100K, uh, which it is currently my title is quality analyst, and I don't do any automation. Um, but there is a contractor part. That's why contracts are cutting the salary and stuff.
Mhm.
So it's okay for me, by the way. For me, the most important thing was being remote,
Mhm.
healthy environment, and just a start job. Like this was my three main things, and it's really enough for me. I am not expecting more. Just healthy environment is fine. For the next years, I can expect more, but I don't know. It's all right for me. And what else?
Okay, let me also ask. Yeah, it's okay. We can go with questions because we have some questions there. So let's ask Emra, what about your offers? Were there 100K or not? And then when you got the first one, did you stop applying or did you continue applying? No, I think you're muted.
Sorry, just realized that. My salary is good, but my compensation package altogether makes it really, really good because it's 95K. I have a 10% bonus per year annually. I have 7.5% on 401k. By the way, I'm a full-time employee, no contractor in between, so I'm a direct hire. I think that's why like they want to make boost that compensation package. I've been paid for my relocation. The company will come, for example, tomorrow to pick everything up. And I got paid already even before my first day at job, for the like road trip that I will take because it's a lot of miles to drive. And I also have a sign-on bonus. Like altogether, it makes it really, really good package, I think. But I had a better like salary option, I would say, a little bit better. But when you look at the compensation package, this was the best decision that I could make.
Yeah. So the good thing probably was that you continued applying even
Yeah,
after
like
the
I
job.
I, I kept on applying. I
Yeah,
didn't stop.
that's a smart thing. Yeah. So that's what we suggest to our students. But some of them they get tired. Some of them they're happy with whatever they get. Some of them, as Elif, they say, I like the environment, so I don't need to continue applying. So it's up to them. But generally, we try to push them to get even higher offers. And then when you get two or three offers, then it's good for you because you can like you don't have the stress anymore.
Mhm.
So you didn't start working yet, Emrah. Are you stressed about the first week, first month? What do you think, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm gonna be the only automation engineer in the department, so they're basically just starting it. I'll be responsible for like everything from scratch kind of thing. And I have zero like how to say, I'm not even nervous. Like I know what I need to do, how I'm gonna do it, and if I ever get stuck, I know who to contact you. So like it makes it very much easy, and you can be confident if you know what you're doing. After the project, I think like once you complete a project and or a second project, like you know exactly what to do.
That's good.
So I'm pretty confident. I'm not nervous at all.
Yeah, so I have another question for you, and then I can ask the other question to Elif.
Absolutely.
So, how many hours did you need to study to be successful for this bootcamp? So outside of the class hours, let's say. So you
I
had
did not study outside of class hours because I was working. But it was enough for me. Like, I don't know. And I didn't have a background in IT either. So just by following the classes, attending the classes, but I attended all classes. I don't know if you remember,
yeah,
but
of
I never
course.
missed any class. So I made my schedule with Uber, for example, in a way that I work from 2 p.m. till 6 p.m. That's 4 hours. My classes start from 7 to 10. That's 3 hours. And 10 p.m. I left home to work in a college town, like where the bars are, from like 11 p.m. till 2 a.m. That was my schedule, and it worked so well. Like now, like even before I found a job, this job, right? I was keep on doing Uber, but because I didn't have that tight schedule, I made less money. So, like being in boot camp, I swear it made a lot of things easier for me.
That's good. That's perfect. So, now we have a question about like do the companies hire bootcamp graduates? So the companies, they want people with experience. And by the way, guys, we're gonna support you on that part. So to make sure that we're gonna back you up. So you're gonna apply for the jobs, and to make sure that you're able to go to those interviews and to be able to start those jobs, we're gonna back you up to make sure that you're gonna be able to start working. So is work permit enough to apply for the jobs after the boot camp? Yes, you just need work permit. You need to be able to speak English. So that's one of the things. You don't have to have a perfect English. Like as long as you can communicate, as long as you can talk to them and explain yourself, you're okay. You don't have to have a perfect English, but of course you need to be able to communicate. So if you cannot speak English, then that's not a problem. So having a green card or U.S. citizenship doesn't matter, as long as you have a work permit. Yes, you can be able, right? You can be able to find the job. So what about the Canada? Yes, the same thing for Canada. You have to have a work permit in Canada to be able to work there. So if you don't have a work permit, if you are an Albanian citizen and then you went to Canada to visit or to study and you don't have a work permit there, you are not going to be able to apply for the jobs there, and you're not going to be able uh, to to work there. So while you were applying, Elif, let's say a year ago, how was the job market during that time? And then we can ask Emra about how is it right now. So how was the job market? Were there many opportunities? And let's say, how many interviews did you go through?
Hmm. For the so January and February was tough, as I remember. Then end of the January started to getting better, and yeah, it was better after end of February. And I get a lot of interviews to overcome my excitement, but really related to what we learned was 4 different companies. And I actually passed the second and third ones for all, but just for the being that excitement got me. Actually, after the offer, I just didn't join the others anymore. Um, yeah, it was about 4, maybe 5. Um, but it just for me to take the first offer, and here I am.
So what about your first month in the job? Were you excited? Like, were you like stressed? And then how long did it take for you to overcome that stress?
Actually, I was kind of lucky because I found a lot of bugs in my first month. And like personally, the directors even like congratulating me in my first month. And I was kind of surprised that I was like, okay, I guess I can handle this job very well, that I found a lot of bugs. One of my friends said it's not a good sign though, like if you find that's many bugs. But that first month, that's why I find so many bugs. It was very easy for me because it's given me the encouragement. Like I trusted myself more. Yeah, and it was fun. It is fun. What I do is fun. The sector is fun. That's why.
Okay, what about the boot camp in general? Was it difficult for you? And then did you work during the boot camp, or were you like not working?
I wasn't working because I didn't want to distract it. I could have worked, by the way. Like when I look at my past, I could have worked, but I just didn't want to distract myself with other things
You're
because
Pollyanna. You wanna live your life.
yeah, I really wanted to succeed. I really wanted to get into the sector. That's why I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give like 6, 7, 9 months, but it will be different from now on. And that's why I was like, I want to focus. But like I'm saying, I wasn't that I'm kind of I wasn't that hardworking, but I didn't work at the same time. It's another scenario, but for me, I just focused and that's all.
And you said you're fully remote, right?
Yes. And
Okay.
I'm traveling a lot, by the way, if anybody likes to travel while they're working.
So they allow you to be, of course, but do you travel outside of the United States or you have to be inside the United States? Do they mind
Yes.
if you
I
go
don't
to Canada
go,
or
maybe I can. I just didn't do it.
you didn't ask?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about the working schedule? So what is your working schedule? How many hours do you work per day right now in this company?
I work 40 hours a week. Uh, we don't do any overtime, but I am a contractor, but they don't do it as well. It's an American company. Um, 8 hours a day. It's flexible for us to start our day. It can be, I can start 6 a.m. and finish at 3 p.m. or 9:30 to 6:30. It's just depends when I want to start.
Okay, perfect. And then whenever you get your tasks, and as long as you do your task, doesn't matter when you do it, right?
Mm,
It's
doesn't
flexible.
matter.
Okay.
Yep. But we need to follow the timeline. Like we have sprints, we have, for example, releases. We need to be on track.
Okay, perfect. So now Elif is insisting on what about working from Turkey? So if you are a Turkish person and you have work permit in Turkey, we have our international students. So I suggest you to communicate with our team. We're gonna give the information later, but we have a different info session for international students, which are not in United States and Canada. This is only for US and Canada students. So if you are from outside of US and Canada, if you're in Europe or in Turkey, Albania, wherever you are, that yes, we're gonna help you there. We have a lot of international students. But of course, the pricing and everything is different. So I would suggest you to communicate with our team when you see the information there. Team@Neotech. You can send an email and talk to them. Uh, yes, we can talk more about how we help our students find the job, Safa. So again, I'm gonna allow you to like communicate with our we have our team which help you, right? Our sales team which give you a lot of information, a lot of details, so you can schedule a call with them and they can explain you all the information that you need. So we have Nabia, which says that I'm gonna skip classes during the first month. If you're gonna skip a lot of classes, it's very, very difficult to do the boot camp. So especially the first month, like I would suggest you to make sure that you schedule your time during the boot camp to be consistent, to join the classes. If you skip a class, you can definitely watch it the next day and then join the next class. If you skip a lot of classes, then I don't think that you're gonna be able to do the boot camp. It's an intensive 6 months. It's doable, but of course you have to take it seriously. And then, as I said, if you're not able to join the first month, it will be almost impossible for you to do the bootcamp. So, what about the market right now, Amra? I know that it was a little bit slow during, let's say, September, October, November. What about now that you were applying? Were there a lot of openings? And
When we were graduated, it was November. It was right before the holiday season, but I kept on applying, and even then, I was able to get a lot of like phone calls and interviews. In total, like I think I had about 20, 25 interviews, and the way it works, I think, like from my understanding, that you apply to a company and you get a response from them like a week later. and then they schedule your like interview or phone call, and from there you keep move on. But even back in like holiday season, I was able to like get calls, and I actually went to like Turkey to see my family in December, and I was able to like do the interviews there when I was with my family. So, and they were okay with that. And then I came back, and my first offer came to me like on January 27th. No, sorry, January 2015. January 27th, I was supposed to start, but then I found a better option, which is starting on Tuesday. So, but I think there's a lot of jobs because I was able to apply to like 1,400 jobs in total. And I cannot say that I applied like 2 months every day, but I think if you count it that way, like maybe a whole month that I've done the applications. And after that, I kept on getting calls, interviews, all that 2 months, like on top of the first month, went by like with interviews and phone calls. So I did probably like 1 month of application, and the rest of it was just like scheduling interviews because it was like back to back. So like today I have an interview with company A, the next day I have it with company B, and then eventually I found the one that I wanted, and I'm gonna start to
And
that.
what about the company that you're gonna be working? Are they using same tools that you learn in the bootcamp, or are you using different tools?
So they have like their QA is being done by a third party. I will join them to take that under their roof. And I will probably like get to choose the tools, but they told me like money is no issue, so we can buy paid tools as well, which will be like more advanced, I think. But if it's up to me, I would like to like of course do the ones that I know, at least for the like first time. But they said that they will help me with whatever I need. So
Hopefully, they're gonna be also hiring there, so
yeah,
you
I will definitely like recommend because I've been
recommend
passing
your
like the way I
friends.
did do is that like right now I have a job, and I got even an email today like offering me an interview right for that another role, and I passed it to another like fellow student, so now he can apply to that position,
Yeah, so
and
you're
I
just
will keep on
passing
doing
something
that.
else.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Perfect. So we have James saying that my English is not perfect, but I use AI to ChatGPT to help me. So I don't know how your English is. So as I said, you have to be able to communicate because in the interviews they're gonna ask questions to you, and you cannot use ChatGPT during the interview because then it's gonna be a red flag. So if you can communicate, if you can talk, doesn't matter your accent. But if you cannot talk, if you cannot express yourself, and of course, also you can use our bootcamp to learn a little bit English. So during our bootcamp, all the classes are English, by the way. So we have a lot of students that during the bootcamp they also, let's say, perfected, or let's say got better on their English. So what are the computer characteristics? So it doesn't matter if you have a Windows or a Mac. And by the way, if you sign up for the course, we're gonna give you the let's say the characteristics or the specifics. But of course, a computer, I can say it easily, a computer which is more than $600-700, which should be more than enough. Can we self-schedule the working hours? You can watch the videos later. This will be recorded and shared with you. But I would strongly suggest you to join the classes live, because during the classes live, you have the motivation, you have a lot of friends, and you can ask a lot of questions there. In a team, so if I can ask Elif, in a team, how many testers do they need generally? So
Uh,
these are some of our interview questions, right?
yes. So currently, we have two QAs working in web, one QA working in automation. We are doing a refresh for our app. I'm working in the mobile side. And in the mobile side, we are three QAs, but we have also so like offshore team. They also help us and they give their QAs to us. And so 3 plus 6, but it's not a long term. It's just for the amount of time. We're 6 now for the mobile manual QA side.
Okay, good. So we have a question here saying to you that to Elif, did you have to study extra hours outside of the classes? Did you study?
Of course, yeah, I did.
So generally per week, how much hours do you spend outside of the class? Let's say 5 to 10 hours a week, or more or less.
I tried to do at least 10. Sometimes it was more. but I wasn't that consistent. Sometimes it was less, sometimes it was more. For the interview time when we were in the market, it was more than that, of course.
Okay, perfect. So how dynamic, so I'm going to ask Emrah on this one. How dynamic were these 3 hours, 4 hours of classes? Were there a live instructor or were they online videos just to watch the videos at your own pace?
There's always a live instructor, and I actually think joining the live class is better because you might have a question that appeared in your mind during the class, right? And you would want to get the answer right away. Whereas if you watch the videos after the class is done, right? Yes, you will still get an assistance channel, which they will also like, give you the answer. But let's say it took maybe 30 minutes to that answer and you forgot and you went away. Now you're doing something else. Now your mind is focused on something else. Like I'd like to keep my attention to the class because that way, like if you remember, I was always trying to speak like a lot because I was asking my questions. Once I learn it, now like I understand the question, I never forget it anymore.
Yeah,
And that's why like I didn't need to study after the classes. I think that will help a lot if they join live classes.
yeah. And of course, right? So as I said, our class is very dynamic. So we have our instructors, we have Shane, and this at this batch, it will be myself, it will be Sabah, it will be Shane. So and we have also the assistants. So we have Gary and Sar and the rest that will help you during the boot camp. So again, work like the videos will be recorded, but the videos for batch 6 are different from videos from batch 5 because during batch 5 we were explaining something, a question comes, we explain that one, and then of course if we explain in everything, the topics are the same, but of course the videos are different because depending on whatever was questions in the class. And by the way, on Sundays we have the review of the whole week, and generally I prefer to do it myself to make sure that we are covering everything that was explained during the week to make sure that every question is answered and there's nothing left without being understood. Does the bootcamp start on 16th? Yes, so the bootcamp will start on 16th, which is this Sunday. Yes, still there's time. That's why we're doing this info session. And we accept students still even during the first week of the bootcamp. So that is our deadline. So after the first week of the bootcamp, it's late. I mean, later you cannot join it because you're not going to be able to learn the stuff. But now definitely you have time to start until the 16th. Do all students end up finding a job? No, never 100%, because some of the students, they drop during the bootcamp, they lose their motivation. Some of them, they're not very good, they don't apply. As Elif said, right, even applying for the job, you can start applying for a couple of weeks and then you can get bored. So, but if you consistently apply, you'll find the job. Maybe in a month or two, maybe in 3-4 months, depending on the market, depending on your skills, depending on how much you apply. But if you take it seriously, definitely going to find the job at the end. But if you don't take it seriously, it can never be 100% because we have lazy people which lose motivation and stuff like that. And then, by the way, if you don't have the work permit, so we have questions like, I don't have the work permit right now, but I'll get it in 2-3 months. As long as you have the work permit, it's not for us. The work permit is for the companies. As long as you have it at the end of the boot camp, then definitely you can start a boot camp now. And then during this time, you get the work permit in the United States or Canada or wherever you are, and then you're gonna be able to find a job. Okay, so yes, you have a call scheduled. Definitely take that call, Peter, and then they will. I mean, you can ask all your questions. So I'm gonna get the last question for you. So what is your title, Elif, and what is your job title? Actually, Emrah answered there, but if you can say it, what you said, what was yours, Elif? You already mentioned it.
Quality analyst.
Quality analyst. What about yours, Emrah?
It's automation engineer.
Okay, what about the other offer that you got?
It was quality assurance engineering. Like that was the title. The other one.
Okay. So yes, and then as we said, you apply only for QA as that. So those titles that are related to our bootcamp. You cannot apply as a software developer because those are different things and you need other skills for those things. But you can apply only for those that are have to do with our bootcamp. So I don't like. Thank you very much for coming, both of you. And if you have
Of
like
course.
Elif, you start, and then Emrah, if you have your last, like, I don't know, statement, anything they want to say to the students that are joining right now. And
I mean, consistency is the key. So they shouldn't give up if they want to start this journey.
okay, Emrah.
I would highly agree with what Elif is saying because if you give up, then that's guaranteed you're not finding the job. But if you keep on applying, it's like let's say you have a hammer, right? And you're fighting against a giant wall. If you keep on hitting that wall, the wall ha will not be standing on your way. But if you have to keep on doing it. So I think like they should not give up because there's a huge chance that they will land a great job maybe for the next 10 years of their career, right? Or like maybe 20 years, who knows? So it's a really high paying job and it has very much flexibility of like, having that work and life balance. Like for myself, I will work 3 days from office, 2 days from home. And like I don't know if there's many jobs out there that can provide this flexibility with a high paying salary. So I think as long as they keep on being consistent and hardworking, they will definitely find a job.
Okay, and definitely we're gonna invite you again in the future, probably when you get more experience, and Ryan share like new experience. And I'm proud to have a student who looks like Kenya Reeves. Thank you very much, Alif and Emrah, for joining, and we're gonna get your
Thank
questions
you,
in the
Leon.
upcoming presentation. Thank you, guys.
And good
Thank
luck, everyone.
you.
Bye.
Good luck.
Yes, Ahmet.
Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Ahmed. I'm going to continue with the rest of the presentation. Let me introduce myself. I am one of the instructors here at Neotech Academy. I'm also a senior software tester. So today, let me share my screen. I'll continue about the job placement. I know it's been going for long, so I'm not going to take too much of your time. And I kindly ask you to be a little bit more patient for the pricing. It's coming up. So the job placement, what is our role here? First of all, as Eric mentioned, this is a life-changing program. We call it career-changing, life-changing. Why? Because this program for you to find a new job, change your career, change your life. And for that, our success is only defined when you find a job. What do we do for that? First of all, throughout the program, you will be going through a lot of amazing classes. So you will learn about the soft skills and everything. At the end of the program, you'll have something called mock interview. That's how we're gonna assess if you're ready for the job market. Okay, if you're ready to go out there, we'll help you to build your resume, tailor fit to your experience. Whatever you have, we'll give you an extensive knowledge on the market, on how to apply jobs, where to apply, when to apply, how to answer questions, who you're going to be dealing with, and on top of that, throughout the program, you will have one-on-one mentoring, and this is not going to finish when the bootcamp finishes. So the placement part, this will continue. We don't have any time limitation with the placement. So you want to be out in the market. It's not like after a couple of months, we're going to leave you alone. No, we'll always be there for you. So if you are in the market and looking for a bootcamp, this is something that you need to definitely ask. What is the limitation on the job placement? Us, we don't have any limitation. You will have access to an alumni network, just like Emra, just like Elif. You will have, like, again, we've been doing this for long enough, hundreds of students out there, hundreds of great software testers working actively. You'll have access to them. And my personal favorite, salary negotiation. When you have offers, we will be there to help you to maximize whatever you're getting from that offer. I'm sure you've heard Emrah's amazing offer, like how he was able to get like some bonuses, some like annual signing bonus, annual bonuses, like all this stuff. We'll be there to help you. So as of now, let me go to the next slide. This is the average. This is what we see. And I want to show you the best way to show how the market is looking right now is our offer letters, okay? So what does the job market look like right now? Here is how it looks. Again, this is one of the most recent offers that we got. It's been a busy January week, I'm not gonna lie, and which we love to have it. So 90K, we have this guy right here, another 95K, with like some signing bonus and also annual bonuses. We have this one, let's see, $52 an hour, and not bad at all. As you can see, there are like different type of offers different titles everywhere. This is supposed to start like next week, 90K. We have so many of them, plus with a $10,000 signing bonus. I don't want to like, again, we have like many of them. Actually, I was supposed to show a Canadian offer because I've seen that this is like US and Canada. Let me find that. Here you go. This is the Canadian offer from Toronto, 85,000 Canadian dollars. Okay, so this is how it looked like. Sorry. So these are just some of the companies our alumni is actively working at, and you can be one of them too. So I'm gonna leave the microphone back to Eric, and he's gonna take it from here.
All right, thank you so much, Ahmed. And let me just go ahead and get my screen shared here. There we go. All right, so you should see my screen where it has the names of the companies that Ahmet was just talking about a moment ago. Let me ask you folks a question as we get into the tuition, the money back guarantee, and all that good stuff that you guys have just been waiting to hear. How many of you can relate to this? Anybody know someone who spent a lot of money for formal education, like going to universities for 4 years or maybe even longer than that, and they spent all kinds of money and they aren't even working in the field that they were, spending all this money to get educated in. I know people like that. I have family that went through that studied to be an engineer, for example. One of my brothers-in-law studied to be an engineer and never pursued that field. My own sister, she she has a degree in psychology, never became a psychologist. She's doing something else. So when you look at the cost of education, and here's the point I'm making. It can be over the course of 4 years. A lot of you already know this. If you don't have a scholarship or a grant, I know there are ways, obviously, to get money to help pay for schooling. But let's say you didn't have any of that. You could easily be looking at well over $100,000 over the course of 4 years, 200 plus $1,000 for a private university. And are they required or will they help you land a job afterwards? They don't do that, do they? They really have no incentive to do that. So we're different from that because we actually are incentivized to help you get a job, which I'll talk about in just a second. The average boot camp out there is well over $13,000. So a lot of people, when they hear what we have to offer, when they listen to wonderful people like Alif and Amra, who were just like you, got educated, they now have a skill set that nobody can take away from them. Nobody can remove their skill set that they have. And they're out there now, in the workforce. Alif has been doing it for a while, and Emra's getting, his first job offer in this field. And it is very inspiring, as one of you said a moment ago. So let's talk about the very unique way that we have come up with. So really, just about anybody, if they truly want to do this, can get involved. So let's talk about it, okay? So rather than paying, $100,000 or even $200,000 or the average boot camp, they want upfront over $13,000. Here's how we actually do it. So our regular tuition is $52.49. Now, what we're offering is a Valentine's Day discount. So we're expressing our love to you by offering you this discount that expires at midnight tomorrow with an addition with $200 off. Okay, so that brings the cost down to $5,049, $50.49. But that's divided up into 7 installments. So don't worry about having to come up with that all at once. 7 monthly installments of $721 per month. Now, this is where, again, we are really unique. Our curriculum is also very unique because we are keeping up with changes in the marketplace to make it so that it's not 6 months of fluff. It's 6 months of learning what you really need to know to be successful in this career. Well, what we do is this. We are incentivized to actually help you land a job because this is not two tuitions. Don't get the wrong idea. It's one tuition. We just divide it into two parts. So you have the first part right there. The second part of the tuition is what's referred to as the placement fee. You don't pay this until you actually find a job, which we're going to help you find. So the placement fee is 85% of your first monthly salary after you find a job. You don't pay this if you can't find one, and you pay it in 4 monthly installments. Not 85% of your entire first year. No, no, no. Just whatever that comes out to for on a monthly basis, 85% of that first monthly salary after you find a job. So think about it like this. Rather than Neotech Academy and you being on opposite sides of the table, we are now on the same side of the table because we are now incentivized to help you find a job. And the risk is all on us, which I'm going to get into more in detail in a second. But we can keep bringing that tuition down even further by offering this. There's a discount for a referral. So if you are referred by a Neotech student, let us know that you were referred when you reach out to us. There's an additional discount for that. There are also additional discounts for signing up with groups, which we encourage, because if you sign up as a group, with a friend, you can encourage each other, you can help each other out with homework, maybe even just like Emmer was saying in the interview there in his testimonial, that he came upon a job offer and he was giving it to someone else after he already had a job offer. So that it's all about helping people in this community. But if you sign up as a group of 2, each student gets another $150 off. Groups of 3, each student gets $200 off. Groups of 4 or more, reach out to us and we'll see what we can work out for you. Well, what if I change my mind later? Well, there's no deposit, there's no application fee. You don't pay anything until the boot camp actually begins. You can cancel for free anytime until the boot camp starts. But let's say the boot camp has already started, we give you a 30-day money-back guarantee in writing. So 100% refund if you decide to leave until you complete your first month. So 30-day money-back guarantee. So guys, we're doing everything we can possibly do to help you get involved once you are involved, to then train you and help you land that first job. Learn more about our boot camp by reaching out to us. You can go to neotechacademy.com/bootcamp. You can also book a call with our admissions team, neotech.live/call. Not ready to call? You can submit your interest simply by doing this. Go to neotechacademy.com/apply. But guys, we are starting up, as you've heard this a bunch of times, and I looked over here at my calendar again. February 16th, that's just coming up in a few days. So we are in the new year, obviously. We're a month and change into this new year. So if you are looking to make a change, if you've been talking about this for years and years and years, if you're by nature a procrastinator, a lot of people are. I have friends who have said, "Oh, I want to start a business, this year." They never do it. I want to do this, I want to do that, and they wind up never doing it. Here's your chance to do something. We're doing everything we can to make it attainable for you. We're taking the risk. We're giving you the money back guarantee in writing. We're going to help you land a job. We'll do everything we can to help make you successful. You can also, after we're done, email us for any questions. Team. We also will be taking some questions here in just a few minutes. team@neotechacademy.com. You can schedule a phone call, neotech.live/call. You see the number up there, 929-566-3919. Well, why join Neotech Academy? Well, I won't go through all of these in the interest of time, but let's just go through a few of these. Okay, so let's say that you are thinking about, signing up with us, because why wouldn't you? I mean, there's no risk. There really is no risk involved in seeing if this is for you. Well, comparing this to being self-taught or going to university or taking online courses, if you're trying to do it yourself, how long is it going to take you? Well, who knows? Life might get in the way, and what with us it takes 6 months. If you try to do it on your own, it could take you years. You might even lose interest. You might become unmotivated at some point. University is 4 years or more. Online courses are self-paced. The learning itself, self-taught. Well, you are the expert. You are saying that you're the expert if you're going to be self-taught. Whereas with us, it's hands-on and live with real teachers. I mean, guys who are actually doing it in the marketplace right now. University, well, sometimes you have, when it comes to the university, you can get some interaction, but a lot of times it's not very interactive. Online courses aren't supervised. Industry expert trainers, self-taught. Again, you're the expert. Are you the expert really right now? You're kind of saying that you are if you're going to be self-taught. Online courses, well, nobody's there to really help you out. University, they may or may not be an expert. I took business courses years ago, and I don't think any of my professors actually started a business, or ran a business. We offer career services where the other areas don't necessarily. Our learning content, again, is market driven. Mentorship, we have one-on-one mentorship, and our technical support is nearly 24/7. So, and I hope you've seen this, folks, that we really are passionate about what it is that we do. This is all that we do. We train people to have a successful career in the IT industry. We do everything we can to help you get involved, to get your foot in the door. Our program is tested. We have hundreds and hundreds of alumni, really all around the world at this point. We're constantly working on guiding our students towards the best jobs in the marketplace, and we're here for you. Just like Ahmet was saying, we're not going to train you and then that's it. We're here for you. We're here to hold your hand along the way and give you as much guidance and support as we possibly can, because our reputation's at stake here. If all we do is train you and that's it and say good luck to you, that's not going to do you a whole lot of good. So we're here to help you out along the way. And we want to get those good reviews. We want people to say, yeah, Neotech Academy did everything that they said that they were going to do. And we know that, that's great for not only you, it's also, I mean, frankly, it's great for business too, because people can then say, hey, these guys live up to their promises. They do what they say that they're going to do. And that is what we do. Well, I want to bring back Ilian and Ahmet because we're going to wrap up here. We have gone a little bit long tonight. We're at the hour-and-a-half mark. But if anyone has any additional questions, feel free to fire away.
Yes, absolutely. I'm seeing some questions, but this was like directed to host and panels. Maybe you guys are not seeing it. So, which is Rexomar is asking about the job permit. Please give us a call. We'll explain you like in a long way, so you don't have any questions about it. Everything is clear, and obviously with like the how we guide you in the job market, that's also being covered. That's one thing. But apart from that, if you guys have any questions, again, shoot it right now. What my advice is kindly to join, come and see for yourself. We have these info sessions, these webinars to meet you, to answer your questions, but most importantly to show you our success stories. People like Emrah, people like Elif, how they were able to find a job, and you can do that too. On Sunday, we're going to have our first class. That's going to be an orientation class, and we'll have more success stories that day too. So if you want to have that exclusive thing, you can sign up, and it's risk-free. You can always change your mind. And at the end of the day, we would know a good friend if you decide not to join. But if you do, you will have I can assure you on this, you will definitely have a better life.
Absolutely.
Okay, any other questions? Or if you want, I can share my screen. So yeah, I know there are always questions about the pricing. So let me share my screen here. So about the pricing, James, so the bootcamp starts on Sunday, which is February 16th, and we start with the first tuition, right? So with the first installment, let's say. So this tuition here, normally our regular tuition is $5,249, but there's a $200 off because of the Valentine's Day. So the price goes down to $5,049. You will pay this one with installments. So this is interest-free installments, meaning that this is divided in 7 payments, and you're going to pay $720, $21 per month. So you're going to start the February 16th, the first one, and then every 16th in the upcoming months. If you want any adjustment, of course, there might be adjustments there. So this is during the boot camp, during this 6 months of the boot camp. After you find the job, right, when you're done with the boot camp, we're going to push you find the job. Why? Because we wanted to find the job. If you find the job with $80,000, we're going to push you to find the job with $100,000. Why? Because the higher your salary, of course, also we're going to benefit from it, right? So because we're going to get 85% of your first monthly salary. So only after you find the job, then we are going to help you. We're going to help with the whole process there. And then after you find the job, then you pay this one. This also is not going to be paid upfront. So we don't want you the first month, you get your salary and you pay everything to us. 85% of your first monthly salary, it will be paid again in installments. So you can pay it in 4 installments. So let me just give you a estimation. Let us suppose that you are you find a job with $100,000, right? Which is the salary, gross salary is 8,000, about 8,000 monthly. So 85% of it, which is, let's say 7,500, that's what you need to pay. And then you're going to pay that one in 4 months. So we allow you to start working. And then after that, we talk about it and you pay this part here. So what is important here, guys? Another thing is that there are other things that you're going to get discounts. So we're talking about this tuition here, the $5,000 tuition. If you are referred by a Neotech student like Emra, Elif, or any other Neotech students, you get another discount. If you are a group of 2 students, 3 students, you get an extra discount. So if you're 2 students, each of you gets an 150 off. If you are 3 or more, then you get 200 off. And if it's more, why? Because we want you to come in groups. Why? It's one of the things is, of course, more students, but also what is important, you also help each other. So if you are 2 people, 3 people together, I know that you're going to succeed, because if somebody is stuck, the other one helps, and then you motivate each other. That's why we want you to get these discounts. Make sure that when you make a phone call, you mention about these discounts, guys. So we want you to get these discounts to be happy. And then last but not least, what is important, guys, is this part here. So the bootcamp will start. You're going to pay the first installment, $700, something in the February 16th. During the first month, guys, you're going to watch a lot of classes. After the first month, if you like the course, we're going to announce at the end of the first month, I'm going to say, do you want to continue? We're going to announce it for everyone. If you like the course, if you want to continue, definitely, right? We're going to continue with a second payment, then we're going to consider you as a student. If you say, you know what, this bootcamp is very good, but I cannot do it, I don't like it, or whatever, any reason, right? Or you like it, but it's too intensive for you, you cannot do it, then you just like give us a message, and then you can be unenrolled from the bootcamp and you're going to be refunded 100%. That is very important, guys. We want you to try it for yourself. We don't want other people to explain it to you and you're worried, should I do it or not? Try it, start working on it. If you don't like it, not a problem. It's okay, because I know that you're gonna share it with your friends. You're gonna say, you know what, I found a very nice bootcamp, very nice people. I cannot do it, but my friend or my cousin or whoever you are, you're gonna like it. So try it for yourself. Okay, so that is very important, guys. Try it, see it for the first 30. So you get the least that you get here, guys, is that you get a 30 days free classes, and you're gonna watch everything. And then if you don't like it, definitely you can go. So you can get the question about the certificates if you want, Ahmed.
Yeah, for the there's a question about the certificates. If you're going to be providing a certificate, yes, we have a completion certification, which will be provided after you complete the bootcamp. But there's a longer answer which we can talk about it on the phone call when you give us a call.
Yes. Any other questions, guys? Okay, you're welcome, Peter. So thank you for joining, and we hope to see you. We hope to see you on February 16th. Hopefully, see you there, and then try it for yourself.
See you guys on Sunday.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.